Hey, what's up everybody? Just wanted to give a quick little studio tour to show you guys a bit about my setup and hopefully prompt some questions from the group to see what you guys would like to learn more about. So let's just step back here for a minute, and you can see this is the main area or Ecamm location for my stream. So if you notice, my studio is centered around this, I think it's a 2016 iMac with this secondary display here. And on top of it, I've got a Logitech 4K camera. Of course, I'm not streaming out at 4K, but I just wanted a small format webcam, so that way when I read the comments that are coming in from the stream, I'm looking more at the audience rather than looking off somewhere. I used to have a Canon DSLR above here, and then it looked like my eyes were just going too far off the screen. So, and then you can see I've got a kind of 2-point lighting set up with the main light here, which if I just focus on that for a second, I'll bring the exposure down so you can see it. That is actually a flex fabric of LEDs, and then this is a more traditional LED panel where the LEDs are around the side, but we can get more into lighting later. So from here, you can see that's kind of the main shot, and I crop it so that way you don't see there's a door there and you just see the perimeter. So from the lights over to the edge of the speaker, and that way you don't see the screen. So if I were to try to do that now live with this iPhone shot, that's pretty much my main shot, like that. So, and then of course I have my main microphone that everybody likes, the pink Telefunken M80. I was using a drum stool, but I just bought this chair even about a month or so ago, and I thought it was going to be too big for the stream, but the drum stool made too much noise for my liking, and this is a little bit more comfortable. And for us guitarists, it's important to have arms that flip up to get out of the way of the guitar when you're trying to sit down and play. I normally have a master keyboard controller under here, but right now I brought the Korg SV1 stage piano out, which has piano, organ, electric piano sounds, kind of a more digital stage piano type of setup. So just the amount of sounds I would need for, you know, the types of performances I do. I was thinking to change my main microphone to this Shure microphone, so I could just leave it on the desktop and not have this arm, but everyone seems to like this, and I like the sound that I'm getting from this, and being able to move my face closer to or further away from the mic. It's easy for me to judge my volume, you know, by my distance here, but I may try to switch to that in the future. So a little bit more about the main setup here before we move on. This is my Stream Deck controller, and if you're familiar with this company, let me remove it from the dock. If you're familiar with this company, this is made by a company called Elgato. They also make capture cards to get HDMI to USB. It's magnetized. I have the cable coming out through the back here, but if it was coming out the side, it'd be easier. But this is a little magnetic base that you can just rest it on, and it sits there. And so what I'm able to do with this, if you notice, there's a preview of my shot. So if I go to the main camera, there we are, and then the green screen, which I'll have to show you in a minute, the starting soon, the standby, and the goodbye screen. I also have a soundboard, which I got recordings for different sounds that I wanted, and I actually stole the icons from sessions, so when somebody sends me a praise, I could just hit this button and they get the praise music. Let me see, I actually have my speakers off right now, but it would be something like this. Or if they send the mic drop, or if they send flowers, like that. So I took the icons and just made corresponding sounds. Like hot, I have this. So yeah, it's kind of fun, and I think everybody seems to like it. I also have a button for my intermission music right there, and I plan to add some more stuff to that eventually, but they actually make smaller ones of this, but I think no matter what, these are great value and a great asset to have for any streamer. I also, if you notice, I have two mice. So this is my main mouse, but I also have this trackpad mouse that I keep here. So when I'm sitting playing guitar and I have my stream deck controller here, when I want to scroll through the comments, I can use this rather than reaching with my right hand all the way over to there, which is awkward and not good for your body. So also with the trackpad, by using this, I can hold my fingers to scroll, and it usually keeps the chat, you know, from jumping down, because if I keep my fingers on there to scroll it on the trackpad, it's just like if you were to go over to the side and hold this. Whoops, I didn't catch it. You know how you have to hold that to keep it from jumping? Well, keeping your fingers on the trackpad does a lot of the same thing. So I found that to be very useful. Also, to get the proper gain for this dynamic microphone, I have this thing called a cloud lifter. This gives 20 dB of clean gain. I highly recommend anybody using microphones have one of these in their toolkit. It's always handy to have for dynamic microphones. So both the primary mic and the one for the other green screen stage go into this audio interface. And that, I get a monitor feed over the studio monitors, and I also get it coming into my Helix, which is, it's technically a guitar processor, but it does a lot more. I can go more in depth with this later, but so this does a lot more, but I'll just go over the basics right now. It takes, I have two guitar inputs, one from the Variax, which can sound like an acoustic electric or do different tunings, and one from my guitar wireless, so I can use other guitars that I might have, like the Prince guitar or other regular electric guitars. Both microphones, like I mentioned, that mix that comes out, those come in as well as the stereo backing tracks, and then also this other feed from the from the, where is that? Oh, from the keyboard. So I have the Variax path, I have the regular electric guitar that I can bring into the same path if I want. I have the microphone going through a compressor and some reverb, and then this is no input, but I have the two inputs of the keyboard and the backing tracks that all go out. So this, all the audio comes into here except for the sound effects. Those just go directly to the stream, but the blue cable, it goes out to my monitor so I can hear it in the room, and then it also goes USB to the computer so it can go out to the stream. So that's kind of a bit about the audio, but I'll go in more detail with that later. Let's see, there I have my battery charging station for all my cameras and stuff. And so those are the main lights for the Ecamm. I also have these two lights, that one with a softbox on it, to backlight the green screen, because I need to get a certain color temperature for the green screen chroma key to work properly. And you can see my guitar workbench over here is also where I put some of my accessories for my show, like my hats and glasses and stuff. But this is where I work on my guitars as well. So here on this stage, I call it the second stage, I have the iPad, which I'll dig more into this another time. But this runs my lyrics and my backing tracks. And then I'll show you the app there. So this is called OnSong, and I'll go more into this a lot later. But basically, it allows me to pull up a song. Well, I'll pull up one that has chords, like let's say American Pie. And then I have, oops, there's 500 miles, same thing. So I have the lyrics, the chords, and then basically I can just hit one button and it'll start to play the backing track and scroll the lyrics and everything all at the same time. I have the volume turned down right now, but yeah, basically I can just hit one button and everything starts playing and scrolling for me. More about that later. This is obviously the second microphone. This is a GoPro Hero 8 4K camera that runs the green screen, and then lighting, like I mentioned, for that. Also keep a guitar stand here for any guitars that I want to use for that part of the show. Let's see, so if I go, so this is the GoPro. I just turned it back on, so that's why I have to just get it back to the live feed only. But you can see that that is the microphone with the green screen, and then if I turn off the green screen portion, that's normally what it's seeing. But then the software allows me to put any type of video backdrop that I want. Like this is the beach scene, you can see the waves crashing. I can have a static image as the backdrop, or this one that you guys saw before. What I used to have, or is it this one? The stage, which is cool. So the last thing I'll talk about is the software. So this software is called Ecamm Live, and I can directly stream from here to sessions. The only issue is that when I stream, when I try to use the widgets, like the top love and everything, I'll turn them on for a second. It shows up as a white box. It doesn't have the transparent background like it does in OBS. So what I do to avoid that, let's come out of the full screen here for a second. Exit full screen. So this comes into OBS as a virtual camera. So you can see I bring in Ecamm, and then in OBS, just like you guys probably do, I have all my widgets. And then also this is where the audio comes in from the sound effects and from the Helix into the stream. And then of course your normal OBS controls. So I monitor the live feed there. I leave OBS or Ecamm up, and then I monitor the chat and song requests and everything here. That way I'm looking at the audience when I'm doing that, because I try not to look here too much. But that's just a bit about my setup and some of the tools that I use. Feel free to post any questions you have, and yeah, let me know. I also have another studio room on the other side of that wall, which we can take a look at another time. But this is everything that goes on for my live show for sessions. All right, thanks. We'll see you guys on the web.